everyone, this is Marissa with Lingual Abilities, and today we're going to be talking about how to use Doxy.me as your telepractice platform. Now, this is a competitor with platforms like Zoom, GoToMeeting, Blink, TheraPlatform. There's a ton out there, and we won't have time to go over all of them today, but one of the big features that people like about Doxy is that it's free. And this comes with the HIPAA compliant signed BAA. So if you remember when we were talking about what's important in Zoom or picking a platform, it's really important that you are HIPAA compliant, even though we've had some waivers of going after people for not being HIPAA compliant with the whole COVID thing. That's not to say that we wouldn't get come after later, and that things wouldn't be cracked down on later. So it's still best practice to make sure that you are being as HIPAA or FERPA compliant as you can be, depending on your setting. And to do that, you need a signed BAA, a business associate agreement. Now, if you sign up with, let's say, Zoom, that's where you get into the $200 a month level because that's where their BAA is. Now, as we've talked about, Zoom is $200 for 10 users, so it really turns out to be about $20 per user per month. But Doxy is free, and that's pretty cool. So I wanted to walk you through a couple of the features of it and how to use it so that you could decide if this is really the right platform for you. So you can sign up for free, either as a provider or a patient. And we'll go more into the patient part and how your patients can get into it. But you'll sign up as a provider and then just put in your information and sign up here. You don't have to be a doctor. You can be other things. So it's good for any provider. It doesn't just have to be doctors. Like Teladoc is really more designed for just doctors. The pricing, now the base level is free, and it does have, if you go to security here, like I said, a signed BAA. So that's great. And it's going to get you through your basic stuff. The only thing that it doesn't have available that for like speech therapy and occupational therapy that is more important is that shared mouse control. So you can have this face-to-face conversation. If you're doing talk therapy, it's great. If you don't need to have the feature of the mouse, then that's not a big deal. But if you do need that, then Doxy is not going to be the best option for you. It has a couple other nice things, like you can have a personalized URL, and then if you upgrade to the professional version at $35 a month, which isn't too bad, that's in line with a lot of the other platforms. You can see that you get access to a couple upgraded features like the video quality. There's some more things like having a room passcode if you would like a little bit more security, and having notifications to remind people of things. Getting into the extensions, none of those are available. You can't screen share with Doxy, unfortunately, unless you upgrade. And like I said, it still doesn't have the mouse control, even if you do have the screen share. Similarly with support, there's going to be different levels depending on what you go for. You can have a website badge, which is cool. They have some marketing built in. And then, so all of them will meet the HIPAA requirements, which is good. There was a thing here I wanted to show you. I think it was in extensions. Yes, payments. So you can accept payments through Doxy if you go for the professional or above. Now they also have a version for clinic. And this seems to be more of that like white label, setting it up individually for you, really making it customized. If you're looking to have, oh my goodness, more than 4 people, I would honestly recommend that you go to something like GoToMeeting or Zoom, because that's just expensive for that many people, I think. You can spend $200 a month and get Zoom for 10 people. Now, Zoom isn't going to give you some of the white label things that the upgraded version of this is, like having, let's say, a website built-in thing. You can have people connect to Doxy through your website. So there's pros and cons to both, of course. Okay, so I went ahead and logged in. This is what the dashboard looks like for Doxy after you sign up for an account. You can create whatever you want your waiting room name to be. However, if you want to edit the waiting room any more than that, that's where it gets into upgrading your plan. And I'm not sure as much what all you can update with it. It may be like the picture that you have or the message or anything like that. But essentially what you're going to do is copy this link, and then you can invite people via a number of built-in things. But if I just copy it now, I can put it in and actually sign in as a user. And so I'll show you what that looks like. This is me as the provider over here. I can adjust my settings. So if I want to mute myself, and I like to do that. I like to turn off my camera. You can see my picture that I accidentally took is pretty funny. I just like to have myself on mute and no picture when I start. And then when somebody comes in, I like to turn it on. But that's just me. You can also change device settings if you need to change your microphone or anything like that, your camera, just as you can in most platforms. Okay, so if we copy this, we're going to come in as a user, as a client. And so it says, welcome, this is me, that picture is me as a client. So please check in to let Marissa Rushlow know that you are here. I'm just going to name it client. And then we'll do a check-in. So this is what it looks like as the dashboard for the client. It'll let you know that Marissa, the provider, is going to start the call in a moment. It says that I'm available, but it doesn't have like a live picture of me because I paused that. You can also send messages to say, hi, Marissa, I'm here. And then when we come back over to the dashboard, you can see that that comes up for me as a message. You can also look in the patient queue and see that this person's been here and how long they've been here, and then you can start the call. Now, I'm not going to start the call because we're going to get a bunch of feedback and some weird video stuff because it's me in a call with myself. But, you know, if you started your call, it would work very much like it does with any other platform. You can also get a little bit more information, so that's nice if you want to chat them. You can see how they're connecting. I'm not actually in Georgia, but that must be the nearest place that it's connecting to. And then with the upgraded versions, you can have file transfers and payments. With the free version, that's not going to be available. And you can also kick people out through the remove, so that's good. Now, one thing I don't know about DoxyMe is if, like Zoom, when you kick somebody out, if it immediately, or if you have a setting that you can make it so that they can't get back in. I would be really interested to find that out. So if you know the answer to that, let me know in the comments. Okay, so I'm going to get out of the client version because I'm not going to have an actual session with myself, but I wanted to show you a couple other things that you could do on the therapist side. So you can edit your waiting room. If you are upgraded, there's not really much more in this section that you can do without having the upgraded version, but you do have some account settings that you can play with. So you can always change your personal information along with your profession and what you want to be called, your NPI. Room settings, you can do it so that your profile picture is on or off. Now, I've had some issues getting this profile picture to work, so I haven't upgraded it because you have to go through Gravatar, and that just seems like a pain, like, to do this, so I just haven't done it. But if you guys have been successful, let me know. I just haven't had the will to go through it yet. You can change your room name, your display name, if you're going to have a passcode, and I believe, yep, you have to upgrade for that. Same with changing your default video quality. Billing is for you, so if you're on free, you have no billing. Your login credentials, you can always change that. And then if you need to delete your account, you can. Then if we come back up to the top, the BAA, this is where you get the information to sign the BAA so that you can actually be HIPAA compliant. So make sure that you do this before you start your sessions. If you don't need a BAA, you can just ignore it. Notifications you can change so that if you have email or text or desktop alerts. Some extensions. Now, most of these are going to be things that come with upgrading. And I wish that they said that. I wish that they said, hey, by the way, screen share is only available. Here's how you upgrade. But I'm sure if we go click this link, it would tell us more about how to do it. And that you do have to upgrade and things like that. Only available to professional or clinic users. Yeah, makes sense. But play around with that. You might be able to do a group call. I think group calls are available to everybody. Let's check here. group calls. Nope. All of those extensions are available only in the paid ones, so that's kind of a bummer. But that's okay. Same thing as we mentioned with the payment and the file transfer. If you wanted to send them things or share your screen, all has to be paid. And then another cool thing is a badge. So if you set your image in the room settings where we were before, with the profile picture that I was having some trouble with, when you come back to your badges, that'll show up, and then you can post this as an HTML code in your website. So that's pretty cool, and you can adjust it, as you see fit. So if you're using DoxyMe, you can have it set up so that somebody can just jump in on a call with you when you are available. Now, one thing I don't know is if it allows you to sync, like if you're using Calendly or Google Calendar or any like calendar sort of thing where you can put your availability. That's one thing that's not clear to me. Like if somebody comes to your website and it's 3:00 in the morning, are they just going to come into your room and you're not in there? And then they're like, oh, well, where is this person? And I'm guessing this little green dot shows like, yes, this person is available and there. So maybe you would put office hours on your website, but that's a question that I have. So in general, it seems to be pretty good. I am gonna, I am gonna do a little session with myself, and I'll mute just to make sure that it doesn't have too much reverb, but I'd really like to show what the session itself looks like. So we'll make another client here. Okay, so this is again the client view. This is the therapist view. I'm going to start the call. And there you go. Oh. Let's turn that off. There we go. Okay, so that will not have the reverb anymore. But I can turn my camera on and off. This is from the client side, so I can see myself. I can see that the therapist has not turned their camera on, which you do up here. I wish that it just automatically turned it on, I guess, when you went into a session, but it doesn't. So if we come back here, there, you can see me as the therapist. You can see me as the client. And it works just like pretty much any other platform. You can still send chats here. You can make it full size. You can do a picture-in-picture. You can adjust your camera and your mic. You can put the person on hold. Oh, we're going to come back. Make sure everybody's on mute here. You can adjust your settings for your video and microphone, and then you hang up just as you would like in Google Meets. Either person can hang up. I'm curious if there's any other settings here. Now this year, I don't think we're going to be able to adjust because you have to upgrade. Yeah. So the video quality is not great, but it'll get you through. And like I said, it's free. So that is a super bonus. I would love to know in the comments if you guys have used DoxyMe. Do you like it? Is the screen sharing and mouse control feature like a deal breaker for you, or are you doing more talk therapy and it's okay? What do you think about it? Have you upgraded to any of the paid versions? I don't use this in my practice, but I thought it would be really helpful to go over it as an option for the different platforms out there. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm happy to hear more about it. I hope that you guys found this helpful. As always, you can find my social links in the bottom. Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that if you want to get notifications that a new video has come out, which is about every week, then you'll get that. And then also in my comments or in the description, there's going to be a list of all of my Amazon affiliate links so that if you want to know what headset I'm using or, what microphone or printer I'm using that I have actually in my telepractice, you can go click that and pick those up very easily. So thank you guys so much for paying attention. I will talk to you later. Have a great day.